my channel. Today we are going to be doing the mid-year book tag. I know that like we are pretty much done with July at this point. I just got a little behind on doing this in relation to some of the other videos that I wanted to post, and then I felt like I was doing too many sit-down videos in a row, so I wanted to get a vlog in there for you guys. So yeah, that's my excuse for why this is so late. But we're here, we're gonna do the thing. I have all of the questions written down. I got my questions from Sarah Caroli. I've seen a couple different versions of this video, but most of the questions end up being the same. So we're gonna start right out with the best book of 2025. This has been a really good reading year for me. I hit a lot of books that are on like my God tier list, so this is really hard to narrow down. But if I had to pick one, I would say it's Till Death by Miranda Lynn. This is a special edition of the book. I've listened to the audiobook for this now twice this year. I don't tend to reread books that quickly back to back, but like I just really wanted to get back into this. I love this book. I've talked about it quite a few times. It's about this death maiden who is pretty much just like enslaved to death, and she has to do his bidding in a world where people don't die unless she's the one that kills them. Not until they reach 100 anyway. She ends up accidentally marrying the wrong person who is bound to this magical burlesque show. So now she is more or less bound to this magical burlesque show, which causes a lot of problems for her. And she's on this quest to find the Life Maiden to try to undo some of the problems in the world and also sort of balance the negative things that she's putting into the world. I just loved all the gothic vibes of this, the true enemies to lovers between the main male character and the main female character. Like, it was just incredible. I can't get enough of this book. I just started reading like a spin-off series to it, and I'm really enjoying that as well. So this was probably my favorite book of 2025. That being said, this kind of ties into the second one, which is the best sequel that I've read this year, and that is absolutely Sunrise on the Reaping, which was very much in the running for best book of the year. But since it was going to hit this category, I just decided to leave it with this one. I'm trying not to repeat books. We'll see. But yeah, best sequel for 2025 absolutely has to be this book. I know technically it's like a prequel, but it was released after the original trilogy and everything. I just loved Hamish's story. I loved seeing everything sort of tie together, and the way that Suzanne Collins maps out this world, maps out the games, and the way the whole revolution works and the history behind it is just insane. I still think about this book all the time. I was obsessed when I read it, and it just, yeah, it lives rent-free in my brain. It's incredible. This is another God tier book for me. Then we have new releases that I want to read but haven't yet. I was doing pretty good reading some of my new releases and then fell behind when I realized I just have so many books on my physical TBR that I need to read. So two of them though that are very high on my list are Infinite Fates by Laura Stevens. This is like a find you in every lifetime trope, but I think they also kill each other in every lifetime. And this new lifetime, the main female character has a sister that she's trying to save and protect, and she's like, I don't have time for you. I don't have time for this. So I really want to read that. I've heard a lot of incredible things about that. Then we have The Night and the Moth. This is the stunning Fairy Loot edition. I loved One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, so of course really want to read the newest book by Rachel Gillig. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I'm a little nervous because the other ones were so highly rated. I'm nervous about this one. And then a book that I don't own the physical copy of yet, but should be released by the time this video is out, is Not Quite Dead Yet. This is by Holly Jackson. This is her sort of debut into adult mystery suspense, and I can't wait to see what the difference is. Like, her books already kind of push the boundaries of YA suspense, so I'm sure she's gonna kill it with an adult one. And it's about this girl who is like, I think she's assaulted and ends up suffering from a brain injury, and the doctor tells her pretty much like, I don't anticipate you surviving past like a week, and she's now determined to solve her eventual murder by figuring out who assaulted her and stuff. And like, it kind of gives like Five Survive, where there's a very fine amount of time to figure everything out, and I feel like that's just going to add to the suspense of it all. So those are my top three that were released this year so far that I really want to get to sometime soon. Then moving into most anticipated release for the second half of the year, there's some that are coming out that are on my radar, but I'm not like chomping at the bit to get to them, except for Alchemized by, I always mess up her name, how to pronounce it, Senlin, I don't know. She wrote Manacled, which is a Dramione fanfiction. I read it last year, absolutely obsessed with it, and I can't wait to see what happens with the traditionally published version. I just I don't know. I loved the first, not first book, but like I loved the fan fiction version so much. I'm actually probably going to get a tattoo with some of the quotes and stuff from it. And I feel like the traditionally published version is still going to be stunning and beautiful, and it'll be interesting to see how she reworks it so that it doesn't have the connections that make it a fan fiction. And I just can't wait. I feel like I'm gonna absolutely love it. Manacle was a god tier book for me, so hopefully Alchemized will be as well. Then we have biggest surprise for the year. I'm gonna take this as one that like I didn't necessarily think I was gonna vibe with all that much, and I actually have two, and they're for the same reasons. We have Red Rising and Jurassic Park. These are both sci-fi. I didn't really think I was going to be a sci-fi girly. This one, I just didn't think I was going to understand the science behind I almost said dragons, they're not dragons, behind the dinosaurs and how they sort of brought them back from extinction. This one's like set in space, so I really didn't think I was going to like that, but I ended up really enjoying both of these. This one was just really fun and a good time to read. And then this series, I've already listened to the audiobook for the second one as well, and it was like a 4.5 star read. I never expected a sci-fi to be up that high. It kind of gives like Hunger Games but in space, if you want some sort of like book to relate this to. But there's like sort of an academy setting. There's this whole plot to try to overthrow the current government as it stands. Like they are so intense, very politically driven. The second book gets a lot darker as far as like the violence and the brutality of it, but they're so good. They're so good, and I didn't expect to like these as much. So then we have like favorite new author, I think. What is it? Favorite author, debut, or new to you? So we're gonna go with debut. Actually, it's both. It's a debut author, and she's new to me, and that's going to be Madeline Taylor. She wrote Heir of Illusion. This is an indie published book that I need you guys to go read. I've talked about this a bunch of times. This is available on Kindle Unlimited. It's fantastic. The main female character is a wraith. She works sort of like as an assassin for the kings, so we get a lot of the assassin vibes from me this year. I don't really know what that says about me, but we're gonna ignore it. And she is determined to find this item that will help sort of release her from this contract that she has to the king, so that she can stop killing people, because she really doesn't want to. Enter a main male character that's supposed to be part of Death's Court, another death thing. Yeah, there's definitely a theme going here. And he's also looking for the same item, and they tentatively agree to help each other. This is another one with fantastic true enemies to lovers vibes, and the angst and the tension and the yearning is incredible. The fantasy elements of Wraith, like I don't really have a lot of experience reading about Wraith, so I loved that. It was just so fun, so vibrant, so unique. I really loved this book. So her writing is incredible, and I think I'm gonna probably enjoy anything that she writes. Next up we have newest fictional crush, and I really don't know that I have one. Like there are so many main male characters that I really like Heir of Illusion and Till Death. Like I enjoyed reading about their romance and the main male characters, but there's no like super standout main male characters right now that I'm like, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think I have any, which is slightly disappointing, but I've never really been the type that has like a running list of my favorite book boyfriends, so maybe that's just a me problem. Then we have books that made me cry. Of course, we have Sunrise on the Reaping, but because I said I was going to try to not repeat, we have Releasing 10. This book, it's just pure heartache. Everything that Lizzie goes through is just so intense. You see some of the different traumas that other characters in the stories go through that like you knew their trauma, but you see it from a different point of view or a more detailed point of view, and that just made me cry. Like I was a wreck reading this book. It's very, very heavy. This series as a whole is very heavy. I think that marketing it as a YA sports romance is a little bit of like a mislabeling. It just, I don't know, they're just a little too intense to be YA, but I still love them. Like I'm obsessed with these characters and finding happily ever after for them and just learning more about their journey and their story. But yeah, really, really heavy book, this one specifically, and definitely made me cry quite a few times. Then on a happier note, we have a book that made me happy, which is Daydream by Hannah Grace. I love the Maple Hill series. It had been a little bit since I'd read the first two, and I just kept putting this one off. But once I finally got back into it, Hannah Grace's writing just makes me laugh. The main female character in here made me laugh. Henry is such a cute boyfriend, and he made me smile a lot. Like I was just really happy reading through this book. And this one, if you don't know what it's about, the whole series is kind of about different men in a college hockey team and their sort of love interest. The first book is the biggest one where the hockey comes through. It comes through in this one a little bit, but this one is about Henry, like I mentioned, and he is sort of struggling in school. Enter Hallie. She decides to help tutor him. In exchange, he's going to sort of help her figure out what dating is like, because she wants to write a romance book, but she has no experience. So it's sort of like this fake dating thing, and she's tutoring him too, and it's just cute. Kind of gives like Nathan and Haley vibes from One Tree Hill, if you've ever watched that. Loved that show, so I liked the vibes of that too. This one just made me smile a lot while I was reading it. And we have the most beautiful book that I bought or received this year. I have so many beautiful books mainly because I have like the FairyLoot subscription, so like that's definitely part of it. The Night and the Moth edition is gorgeous. But ones that I've specifically went out and purchased for myself, we have the indie cover of Fairytale. This cover, like the gothic eerie vibes that it gives, is very, very reminiscent of the book. It's a very good depiction of what you're going to get into when you read this book. Then, because I love this book so much and I love this cover, I bought another edition of Till Death. Like, she's stunning. The edges are stunning. Look at that. Like, and then there's character art in the book itself. And by character art, I meant like page overlays. And these are beautiful too. So yeah, I think I'm going to buy like every edition of this book probably. The next question is, what book do I need to read by the end of the year? I have a lot. I have a lot on my 25 and 2025 list because I have a lot of series on that list. So rapid fire through these. We have the Throne Glass series, Quicksilver, the Zodiac Academy series. I did start that, I'm just not done with it. The Crimson Moth duology, Stalking Jack the Ripper series, halfway through that one. The Mistborn series, I read 2 books. I think I'm only going to do like the first initial trilogy, so I only have 1 left. Indigo Ridge series, Lovely War, Baritone series, Tender as the Flesh, Summer Sisters of Mountains and Seas, House Across the Lake, Pretty Girls, The Attic Child, The Good Samaritan, A Theory of Dreaming, and the Magnolia Park series, which I did start. So those are all the books that I need to get to this year. Will I? I don't know, but we're going to try really, really hard to get to those. But yeah, I was a little overambitious when I made the list, but that's kind of just my thing. Then we have how many 5-star reads have I had this year. I actually had 18 5-star reads. I've read 108 books so far, and we've had 18. Now that I said that, I'm not entirely sure if any of those were in July so far. Okay, only one of those was a July read, so technically 17 in the first half of the year, but 17 5-star reads is great. Like I said, I've had a fantastic reading year so far, which has made this challenge very difficult, but yeah, it's been a great year. Then we have what books do I want to reread this year. I definitely want to reread Heir of Illusion. Like, every time I talk about it, I'm just like, oh god, I really want to read this again, but like, I have so many other books to read, which is why I don't tend to reread books. Then 2 other ones that I probably will reread is The Beautiful and then Unsub. These are the beginning of a series, and I never finished the series out. And it's been so long since I've read them that at this point I need to reread those before I get into the books that I haven't finished yet. So those are definitely going to be rereads that I get to at some point, maybe this year, we'll see. Then we have a book that I really enjoyed that has like mixed reviews. I have 2 for this. First up we have Zodiac Academy. I've seen a lot of people say that they love the series but hate the first book, and then there's a lot of people that just don't like the series at all. They think it's terrible. I loved the series, am loving the series, and I loved the first book. Like, I don't understand the people that said we need to get pushed through the first 2 books. This was a 5-star read. I love everything about this world and these characters, and yeah, it's a bully romance, which isn't great, so I guess if that's not your vibe, you're not going to enjoy it, but like, I love this. I don't know why people say they don't like the first book. Then, a very controversial one, we have the cat and mouse duet, Hunting and Haunting Adeline. I know this is dark romance. I'm not a huge fan of like the stalking aspect of it. That's not what I love about this. I love the representation that these books give to some very dark, heavy topics that exist in the world and are true to so many people that people don't want to talk about and they don't want to recognize as real. So I love the books for that reason. Then we have 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. First up is going to be Alchemized. Obviously, like that's my most anticipated new release for the rest of the year. The Enchanted Greenhouse. I read The Spell Shop last year. It's by Sarah Beth Durst. They just are so cute and give like perfect fall vibes, so I'm waiting till the fall to read that one. It's sort of like companion novel, we're gonna say, like to the first book. and I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. Then we have the rest of the Windy City series. I have 3 books that I still have to read for that. The second book was a 5-star read, so I fully anticipate the rest of them being 5-star as well. They're all sports romances set in Chicago, and I was obsessed with the first 2, so I can't wait to read the rest of them. And then we have the rest of the Zodiac Academy series. I don't know if every book is going to be 5 stars, but I'm sure there's going to be 5-star reads in there. Oh, and the rest of the Magnolia Park series, I feel like that's also going to be 5-star reads for me as well. So yes, those are all of the questions for the challenge. It's just so fun to go back and look through the beginning of the year. I didn't realize how many 5 stars I had. It's fun to like remember all of the books that I absolutely loved reading, and it's just cool to see the progress that I've made. So let me know what some of your answers for these questions are. I would love to know what your favorite book of the year is, and then let's go with like what your least favorite read of the year so far has been. Like, let's do both sides of the spectrum on that. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in another one very soon. Bye!